The recent arrest of Sean Diddy Combs has shocked Hollywood and the music industry. The hip-hop icon, once considered untouchable, now faces serious charges, and his wealthy and powerful friends fear they might be next in line. As disturbing details about Diddy's alleged involvement in a criminal empire emerge, many of his close associates are scrambling to distance themselves from the scandal, concerned that the investigation might implicate them as well. You said, "We're not done yet, and Combs didn't act alone." Do you foresee other charges related to this case? Federal prosecutor Damian Williams. Nothing is off the table. Among those in the spotlight is Diddy's ex-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, who has decided to expose everyone involved before becoming entangled in the consequences of Diddy's charges for sex trafficking and extortion. The shocking reason Jennifer Lopez might turn on Diddy. Considered one of the most powerful musical figures in the US, Diddy was arrested on September 16, 2024, at a 5-star Park Hyatt hotel in the heart of Manhattan, New York. Federal agents apprehended him as part of a large-scale investigation into sex trafficking and organised crime. The arrest was carried out discreetly, and it appears authorities had gathered substantial evidence over months of investigation. After Diddy's arrest, his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, emphasised that the rapper had voluntarily travelled to New York to turn himself in. The attorney stated that Diddy was fully aware of the ongoing investigation and had no intention of evading the charges. His legal team claimed that Diddy was cooperating with authorities, insisting that he wanted to clear his name and face the accusations head-on, believing they were baseless and that they would be proven false in court. Diddy's lawyer also asserted, "We have overwhelming and irrefutable evidence that these claims are completely false." However, legal experts agree that prosecutors in the Southern District of New York have a strong case against Diddy, supported by solid and irrefutable evidence. According to several criminal lawyers and other legal experts, prosecutors have substantial physical evidence and numerous witnesses willing to testify about the alleged harms. They also believe that the fact that Diddy is the only person arrested from his alleged criminal enterprise means that his accomplices would testify against him. What this means is that many of Diddy's wealthy, famous and powerful friends could be forced to testify against him. One key person would be Jennifer Lopez. That said, some of Diddy's known associates might be legally compelled to appear in court to provide testimony if Diddy's case, related to sex trafficking, goes to trial, which is almost certain. A subpoena is a legal document that requires individuals to testify or present evidence, and failure to comply can result in legal consequences. More importantly, those who attended or participated in Diddy's drug-filled freak-off parties could face criminal charges. According to the recent 14-page indictment, Diddy's freak-off parties were elaborate sexual performances that Combs organised and directed, during which he masturbated and often recorded electronically. Therefore, high-profile individuals such as Jennifer Lopez and Jay-Z, who have been publicly associated with Diddy over the years, could find themselves in legal trouble if evidence links them to any illegal activity at these events. This explains why Lopez is on high alert following Diddy's arrest. The ongoing federal investigation has significantly disrupted Diddy's life, pushing the music mogul into a whirlwind of legal issues and public scrutiny. However, the consequences of his entanglement with law enforcement now threaten to drag Jennifer Lopez's reputation into the spotlight as well. Their shared history, which once dominated pop culture headlines, could resurface in ways that complicate her carefully crafted public image. With Diddy under increasing pressure, it's not far-fetched to imagine that old legal matters involving both him and Lopez could be reopened. I'm referring to the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting in New York, which involved Diddy and his then-girlfriend Lopez. In late December 1999, Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, and Diddy's bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones, were involved in a violent incident at Club New York, a popular Manhattan venue. During their visit, a disagreement escalated dramatically, leading to a shooting that injured 3 people. Among those involved in the shooting was rapper and former Bad Boy Records artist Jamal Shine Barrow, who was under Diddy's tutelage at the time. In the chaos that followed, Diddy, Lopez and Jones quickly fled the scene, leading to a high-speed police chase across the city. The chase ended with the discovery of a stolen firearm in their vehicle. Although Diddy and Lopez were initially arrested, the charges against Lopez were soon dropped. Attention then shifted to the remaining three: Combs, Jones, and Barrow. The prosecution accused Combs and Jones of possessing weapons and attempting to bribe their driver with $50,000 to claim the gun and take the blame for the shooting. Eventually, after a weeks-long legal battle, Diddy and Jones were acquitted of all charges. However, Barrow wasn't as fortunate. He was convicted of several charges, including criminal possession of a weapon and first-degree assault, although he was acquitted of attempted murder. He spent nearly a decade in prison. Over the years, Barrow has maintained his innocence, claiming he was unjustly made a scapegoat to protect Diddy's image. After his release, Barrow was deported to Belize, where he became a politician. When recently asked to comment on Diddy's arrest for sex trafficking and extortion charges, he said, "One of the things I'd never wish on my worst enemy is being imprisoned, so I take no joy in anyone's struggles." However, Barrow made a shocking claim, alleging that Diddy offered money to witnesses to pin the blame on him during the trial. He said, "I was defending him and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me." He added, "Diddy practically sent me to jail. That's the context in which you should always describe that relationship." Now, do you remember when Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. filed a civil lawsuit against Combs and actor Cuba Gooding Jr. for sexual assault and harassment? Well, in that lawsuit, Jones claimed that Diddy had boasted about getting away with shooting people. Jones alleged in the suit that Diddy shared that he was responsible for the New York club shooting with rapper Shine. Although Jennifer Lopez remained tight-lipped about the 1999 nightclub shooting incident, it was a complete nightmare. She said, "I was scared to death in the car. I had no idea what was going on. Nobody did." However, it seems Lopez might have to relive that nightmare again, as there's a chance the shooting case could be reopened. One of the victims of the 1999 shooting has provided new information. That victim says, "Who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot between the eyes?" Natania Rubin claims Diddy shot her in the face. She was extremely lucky to survive, even after a 9mm hollow point bullet was shot directly at her face. Rubin was at Manhattan's Club New York helping a friend promote a New Year's Eve event. She recalls that Diddy got into a verbal dispute with a drug dealer. Diddy had a gun in his hand, and Rubin was caught in the line of fire when she saw him start shooting. She took a direct hit to the nose. Rubin said, I saw him with my own eyes. It felt like I'd been hit with Paul Bunyan's flaming mallet." She then remembered her immediate thought after being shot. "I called out to God and said, 'Don't take me. I'm not done raising my kids. I've got work to do.'" Given that Rubin is 100% sure Diddy shot her, the rapper's arrest was the best news she'd heard in a long time. When her daughter told her Diddy had been arrested, she screamed with joy, "Thank you, merciful Father." She later described it as one of the best days of my life. Now here's something big that could reopen the case. When Rubin was shot, surgeons faced a grim decision. They couldn't remove all the bullet fragments without risking her life. The remaining fragments were crucial evidence, but not enough were recovered to make a definitive ballistic match with the gun found at the scene. This lack of conclusive evidence played a significant role in Diddy avoiding charges back then, as investigators simply couldn't link Diddy to the shooting. Now, with advances in forensic technology and renewed scrutiny of the case, this missing link could finally shed new light on the investigation. And that's not all. Rubin has always stood firm in her claim that it was Combs who shot her in the face during the incident. Despite the traumatic experience and the lingering physical pain, she's expressed her willingness to undergo another surgery to remove some of the bullet fragments still lodged in her face if it means reopening the case. She passionately stated, "I had a clear view. For God's sake, I got shot in the nose. I was right in front of them. I saw everything happen, and I've described it vehemently to all parties involved. I still have 9 bullet fragments in my face." Rubin's willingness to undergo a painful and risky procedure demonstrates her determination to seek the truth, even decades later. Her account remains a crucial piece of the puzzle, and her offer to provide more evidence underscores her desperation to close the case and demand accountability, which could finally turn the tide in this old case. In other words, even if Diddy miraculously gets off the hook for all other charges, this case could land him back in jail. However, this also means that Jennifer Lopez will have to testify against Diddy or support him in court. The latter seems highly unlikely, but you never know. For now, Lopez's legal team is keeping a close eye, awaiting potential complications when attention turns back to the shooting incident involving Natanya Rubin. Despite the significant accusations against Diddy, her former boyfriend, the singer has remained silent. This silence aligns with experts' observations that many of Hollywood's top celebrities are terrified to comment on Combs' legal troubles. Their reluctance may stem from their potential connections to the case or alleged threats from Diddy to keep quiet. A source with insider information revealed that there have recently been urgent discussions about whether Jennifer should respond and how she should do so if the ongoing legal proceedings stir up past events. Jennifer was there when the incident happened, and many people in the industry are now looking at her with skepticism, the insider explained. As scrutiny grows around everyone associated with Diddy, Jennifer has her team on the case. One source said, "Jen has people looking into everything. She doesn't believe there will be any fallout from what happens to Diddy, but she will do whatever it takes to avoid any future crisis." It has become clear that Lopez's former relationship with Diddy could cast long shadows over her future. According to industry sources, despite her efforts to move on, the shadows of her history with Diddy, particularly the famous nightclub shooting in 1999, constantly haunt her. She's tried to forget for the past 25 years. She's had the worst year of her life, and this whole Diddy thing is just old wounds reopening. However, the implications of their relationship extend beyond this event. The complexities of her past could impact her career and public image in various ways. J-Lo's infamous relationship with Diddy, the relationship between Jennifer Lopez and Diddy, which lasted from 1999 to 2001, was one of Hollywood's most high-profile, marked by moments of great notoriety and intense controversies. Their relationship began shortly after meeting on the set of a music video and quickly intensified, making them one of the entertainment industry's power couples. Diddy's presence in the hip-hop world significantly influenced Lopez, who collaborated with rappers and released hits during their time together. They were known for their flashy appearances at events, including the memorable moment at the 2000 Grammys. Although they often appeared to be the perfect couple in the public eye, beneath the surface, their relationship was plagued by problems that quietly brewed. Lopez and Diddy ended their relationship in 2001 after a tumultuous 2-year romance. Lopez reflected on the tensions in their relationship in a 2001 interview with Rolling Stone. She recalled how Diddy, despite not being married, often talked about wanting a divorce. "He told me many times, 'I want a divorce.'" She described the relationship as exhausting and scary because of the uncertainty, noting that they had broken up multiple times without the public knowing, adding to the emotional confusion. She said, "It wasn't a great time in my life, it was scary, and we broke up many times before that and got back together and broke up again, and no one knew. It was very tempestuous. Toward the end, it was emotionally exhausting. Thank God I was young." In 2003, Lopez provided more details about their breakup in another interview, where she spoke about Diddy's cheating as a significant factor in their split. "I never caught him cheating, but I knew. He would say he was going to a club for a couple of hours and wouldn't come back that night," she recalled. "I had to think, do I want to be home with kids in 10 years wondering where someone is at 3 a.m? But there were other red flags as well. In a 2000 episode of MTV's Diaries, the music mogul was visibly upset because Lopez had to perform a kissing scene in a movie she was filming at the time. When Lopez showed him the script for The Wedding Planner with Matthew McConaughey, Diddy asked, "What's the last scene about?" When he learned it was a kissing scene, he said, "There better not be any kissing." There was visible tension in the room, which Lopez tried to diffuse, saying it wasn't a tongue kiss. However, Diddy repeatedly told her, no. Additionally, Lopez spoke about past abusive relationships in her 2024 documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. According to experts, Lopez was referring to Diddy when she said, "There were people in my life who said, 'I love you,' and then didn't do things that aligned with the word love. Being thrown around and mistreated like that is not fun." In a recently resurfaced clip from The Wendy Williams Show, Lopez was asked about the possibility of getting back together with Diddy, and this is where Lopez's mother's response grabbed everyone's attention. Lopez directed everyone's attention to her mother, who was sitting right in front of them in the audience. Rodriguez, with a serious expression, made a clear disapproving gesture, apparently mouthing the words, "It's over." A mother's intuition is always right, and people are now understanding why Lopez's mother made a cutting motion with her hands. However, Lopez and Diddy became friends again after their breakup, and this is where some of the alleged incidents that could cause legal problems for J. Lo occurred. You see, Diddy hosted numerous Hollywood celebrities at his Hamptons mansion long before federal authorities began investigating his infamous freak-off parties. In case you're not aware, prosecutors have accused the rapper of hosting freak-off parties, where he allegedly abused women and used threats to force them into orgies with male sex workers. At these wild parties, Diddy's associates allegedly booked hotel suites and hired sex workers while distributing drugs such as cocaine, methamphetamine and oxycodone to keep attendees obedient and submissive. Additionally, Diddy's staff allegedly arranged trips and IV supplies to help those involved recover, sometimes for days. Furthermore, the 14-page indictment makes severe allegations against Diddy, claiming that he used the embarrassing and compromising recordings he made of the freak-offs as leverage against the victims. According to the indictment, these recordings weren't just private moments, but were used as a means of control or manipulation over those involved. Authorities' involvement in the case intensified when agents conducted raids at Diddy's residence in March, during which they seized evidence of these recordings. These materials are now in the possession of the FBI, and authorities are actively reviewing the content of what has been described as Diddy's alleged stash of recordings. As part of their investigation, the FBI has begun the process of identifying the victims appearing in the tapes, as well as the individuals involved in organising and participating in the freak-off sessions. In addition to the recordings, the raid also uncovered various items related to the events. Among them were large quantities of drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, highlighting the scope and magnitude of the alleged activities. Investigators also seized more than 90 cell phones, laptops and cloud storage accounts, as well as at least 30 storage devices. They issued over 300 grand jury subpoenas to obtain this evidence from communications providers, tech companies and social media firms, financial institutions and comms companies. Adult film star Adria Sherry English filed a separate lawsuit against the music mogul, accusing him of abuse and sexual exploitation during one of these freak-off parties. She said, "The things they force me to do haunt me to this day." And that's not all. She alleged that drinks laced with drugs were consumed at those parties. She claims the alcohol being served was mixed with drugs and that sex workers were specifically asked to drink from certain bottles. Additionally, minors were allegedly used to serve drug-laced drinks. Many A-list Hollywood celebrities were reportedly involved in these parties. Images resurfaced online showing famous actors and actresses drinking and having fun at these gatherings. For example, there is a photo from July 2000 showing Diddy and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez lounging on a huge white bed covered with pillows. In addition to Jennifer Lopez's alleged attendance at many of these wild parties, there are rumours that other Hollywood celebrities attended Diddy's infamous parties, although their involvement in specific activities hasn't been verified. Among the most notable names associated with these parties are Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Justin Bieber, Usher, Khloe Kardashian and Ashton Kutcher. Guests have included Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Howard Stern, Kelly Osbourne, Aretha Franklin, Martha Stewart, Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson, Regis Philbin, Vera Wang, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon, among others. While some celebrities have acknowledged attending Diddy's gatherings, they deny participating in the more controversial aspects of the events. Now, the biggest problem for Lopez is that the FBI raided Diddy's homes and found tapes. and in some of those tapes, Lopez is allegedly featured. Former record executive and convicted criminal Suge Knight has shared his belief that the rumoured divorce between Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck is related to Lopez's alleged appearance on tapes seized by the FBI during the raid on Diddy's homes. Knight suggests that during the raids on Diddy's mansions earlier this year, the FBI may have confiscated tapes that include Lopez. He claimed, "They raid Puffy's house and take all these videos of J-Lo doing this and J-Lo doing that," referring to Lopez's participation in the freak-off parties. Suge Knight, who is currently serving time for a deadly hit-and-run incident in 2015, further claims that Ben Affleck has now obtained these tapes, which he believes have contributed significantly to the tension in the couple's relationship. According to Knight, the information contained in the tapes has played a key role in the strain on their marriage. As a result, the Hollywood stars are on the verge of divorcing after only 2 years of marriage. Lopez has already filed for divorce in Los Angeles County Superior Court. With Lopez facing an imminent divorce and potential legal troubles, the situation appears increasingly bleak for the 55-year-old singer. Meanwhile, critics are pointing fingers at Lopez and other Hollywood figures for their silence following Diddy's recent arrest on serious charges, including sex trafficking, forced labour, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Many point out the stark contrast in their reactions compared to when Harvey Weinstein was exposed, when celebrities quickly condemned the now convicted rapist. This time, however, their silence regarding Diddy's case is raising eyebrows, suggesting that speaking out could implicate them in ways they'd rather avoid. Diddy's arrest spells bad news for his friends, wealthy and powerful people. It's no secret that Diddy has been friends with many powerful, rich and famous individuals. From politicians like Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama to obscenely rich Hollywood celebrities like Jay-Z, Jennifer Lopez and Leonardo DiCaprio, Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. perfectly described Diddy as a gatekeeper of the music industry. What he's referring to is the music industry, which generated around $17.1 billion in 2023 alone. That explains why Diddy's friends haven't spoken out against him. In fact, not a single celebrity or colleague defended Diddy when the Cassie Ventura video, showing Diddy physically assaulting her, surfaced. That's because they knew what he was capable of. With Diddy's recent arrest on charges including sex trafficking, forced labour and other serious offences, many of his wealthy and influential friends are terrified at the possibility that Diddy might strike a deal with prosecutors. If Diddy cooperates with authorities, he could provide information that implicates other high-profile individuals involved in illegal activities, such as the infamous freak-offs and other alleged crimes related to his social circle. Nahama Rahmani, a former prosecutor, explains the legal risks faced by those involved in the alleged sexual acts at these parties. In her view, people who participated in the sexual acts should be particularly fearful because they could also be charged with sex trafficking or prostitution, depending on whether they used threats or force against the victims. A plea deal could benefit Diddy by significantly reducing his sentence or avoiding harsher penalties, especially if he offers evidence that aids federal investigations into other rich and powerful figures. This cooperation could go beyond charges directly related to Diddy and could open Pandora's box, implicating celebrities, moguls and others who attended these exclusive illicit gatherings or were involved in shady business dealings. Many experts believe that Diddy might consider striking a deal with prosecutors because otherwise he faces life in prison. Since Diddy's $50 million bail was denied twice by judges, he will remain in jail until trial, a trial that will take place next year. Matthew Galuzzo, a former prosecutor who handled sex crime cases and now works as a criminal defense attorney in New York, said that Diddy will likely die in prison. "It's very likely. He's fighting for his life," he said. That's why some legal experts believe that Diddy might leverage his knowledge of others' involvement in these illegal activities as a bargaining chip. Prosecutors typically view defendants who can provide crucial information, leading to broader convictions favourably, especially when it comes to exposing a network of high-level misconduct. This strategy not only potentially lightens Diddy's legal burden, but also sends a chilling message to those in his circle that they may not be immune to legal scrutiny. Moreover, the high stakes mean that Diddy's friends may feel compelled to publicly distance themselves, fearing that any association with him could attract unwanted attention from law enforcement. The pressure to remain silent or sever ties entirely only heightens the speculation that Diddy's possible cooperation could unravel a wider web of crime and corruption among the elite. The ripple effect of a plea deal could be profound, with names coming to public light that might otherwise have stayed hidden. If Diddy provides enough valuable information, a domino effect could occur, triggering new investigations and potential charges against other rich and powerful individuals who were complicit or aware of these criminal activities. What this means is that we could see some rich and powerful people behind bars who were allegedly involved with the infamous Jeffrey Epstein and got away after his controversial suicide. I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein's apparent suicide in August 2019, which sparked widespread controversy and led to numerous speculations. Epstein, a wealthy financier with connections to high-profile figures, was facing serious federal charges for sex trafficking minors. His death in a New York jail cell, officially ruled as a suicide by hanging, immediately raised suspicions due to a series of unusual and suspicious circumstances surrounding his final days. One of the primary reasons for suspicion was the glaring lapses in the security protocols at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, where Epstein was being held. Just weeks before his death, Epstein had been found injured in his cell, prompting him to be placed on suicide watch, a common precaution in such cases. However, less than a week later, Epstein was inexplicably removed from suicide watch and transferred to a special housing unit where he was supposed to be closely monitored by guards. Reportedly, on the night of his death, the two guards assigned to watch over him fell asleep and falsified records. And that's not all. The cameras outside his cell, which could have provided crucial footage, malfunctioned during the critical moments. These extraordinary lapses in protocol fueled widespread speculation that Epstein's death was not merely a system failure, but could have been orchestrated. Many theorists and commentators believe that Epstein's death might have been a deliberate act to silence him and prevent him from revealing damaging information about powerful individuals. Epstein was known to have connections with various influential personalities, including former US President Bill Clinton, Britain's Prince Andrew, and billionaire businessmen like Les Wexner. Allegations emerged that some of these figures might have been involved in Epstein's illicit activities or at least aware of them. Speculations suggested that Epstein possessed sensitive information and videos that could have implicated some of the world's most powerful people in criminal or morally compromising situations. For many, the idea that Epstein conveniently died just when his testimony could have potentially exposed such individuals seemed too coincidental. What's even more shocking is that Epstein himself claimed to have dirt on those powerful people. Now, there's a high possibility that Diddy's life could be in danger. In fact, Diddy isn't eating in jail for fear that someone might try to poison him. A source close to Diddy said that the rapper is scared and paranoid, as he knows too much about people who have a significant amount of money at stake. That said, Diddy's fear is justified, as he is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. 1500 is often known as Hell on Earth due to its notorious conditions and a history of severe mistreatment of inmates. Known for its overcrowding, inadequate healthcare and harsh living conditions, the facility has been the subject of multiple investigations and lawsuits. In 2019, a power outage during the coldest week of winter left inmates without heat, electricity or hot water for days, sparking outrage and widespread protests. Reports of abuse, neglect and unsanitary conditions are rampant, and inmates are frequently denied basic human rights. There have also been numerous deaths at 1600, including suicides and cases where medical negligence was the cause. Conditions have worsened to the point where judges have refused to send certain non-violent offenders there. Many wonder why Diddy was sent there after his bail was denied twice. Or maybe other powerful forces are behind this scheme to kill him there. Another suicide? Although Diddy is currently on suicide watch, we've seen other high-profile inmates suspiciously commit suicide in the past. For now, Diddy's lawyer says his client is not suicidal in the least. Agnifilo has also said that the 54-year-old rapper is strong, healthy, confident and focused on his defense. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, check out the suggested content on your screen by clicking one of the cards that appear.